Hello, Divine Ones. This is Ashley, and this is the energy reading for the collective for whenever you run across this video. But right now that I'm filming this video, it is for the new moon in Leo. So Leo is all about heart activations, our soul's expression through the heart center, through the heart core. All right. These two cards came out together. So we have here the Lady of the Stars, Princess of Sirius, or Sirius, whichever way, however the way you want to pronounce it. But this is so funny that this card came out because we have the dog star Sirius paired with Orion, the bow, the arrow, being on target. Okay, the bullseye, I also feel like that is coming through, and so hitting that target. This was a message that came through for the Feminine Fridays during the 4-part series of Goddess Athena, and being on target, that precision. That was actually part 4. And the Divine Feminine, I feel very strongly that the Divine Feminine, she's hitting her mark, she's hitting her target. And with that energy of Sirius, that dog star, this is talking about, I hear Aquarius. I also hear like some type of new activation. Like she's caught in mid-air or mid-motion. And it's like as she's moving around, as she's doing her business, as she's doing her thing, it's like someone is watching her. But it's like I hear the afterglow. It's like, you see how her hair is moving, like she's moving, and she's caught in mid-motion, like she's doing something, she's focusing on something, and she's focused on what she's supposed to be doing, and it's like someone is watching her, something or someone is watching her, and they can see her beauty. Excuse me, I had to adjust the camera. They can see her inner beauty coming out of her, as within so without. So the inner work that she has been doing is exuding. I hear even bleeding out of her pores. It's like wherever she goes, people can catch, like she may be like grocery shopping, for example. She's moving around grocery shopping, and people look at her and they see like a glow. They see something, the inner work coming out of her, like her inner glow coming out of her. And as she moves gracefully. So whatever she is, or whatever point in life that she is in currently, it's like she moves with emotions of gracefulness, of elegance. And I'm not talking about like she just dances across the aisle. It seems like that because of her inner grace, her inner beauty. She has really been doing that inner work. Okay, and so with this Sirius, the Sirius is the star that is behind the sun, that gives a lot of the sun the new energy that's coming through. And that's what the Spirit is saying, like that inner glow that she has is being fed. Okay, excuse me, let me back up. The outer glow that she has is the inner glow that is being fed to her from her higher self. And so it's like a hierarchy, if you will. So, for example, you have Saturn, the first sun, and then you have Sirius, which gives the current sun, the sun that we see now, its energy, its information. And so that energy is shined on to all the other planets as well as Earth, if that makes sense. And so that's just an illustration of what's going on with her. So her higher self, well, first let me back up. The divine source, the Holy Spirit, the Christos energy, gives her higher self information that therefore filters down through her, funnels down through her, and it starts to exude in the physical. So the things that are happening in the spiritual realms, in the cosmos, plays out into the physical realms. Okay, Lady of the Stars, she could be learning astrology for whoever this is. Okay, it's going to be something else. So with these individuals watching her, so you have regular people that look at her like, oh man, wow, they don't know what it is. And then you have people that may know her, such as her family, that looks at her and like, wow, you have really changed, like something is different about you. And then you have her divine partner over here that feels her changing, even if he or she may not be in contact with their divine feminine, that they can still feel their presence. They can see their presence. They can see things are changing within them. Okay, within them as well as without them. And that's a play on words too, because as within, so without. So I'm playing with that words, as well as, like, she's going to change regardless if she is in divine union or not. She has reached that pinnacle in her spiritual evolution, that I'm doing this for me. Look at her. Don't she look boss? Don't she look bossy? Look at her. She's on a mission, and nobody or nothing is going to stop her. Okay? Like divine partner. Yeah, I do know that we're going to come into divine union. However, I'm going to do this spiritual work. At first, it started off because of this relationship or because of other things that I wanted in my life. But now I'm doing this spiritual work because it's for me, because it's for my highest good. Okay? That also represents, like, with the Sirius and the sun. Okay? The sun is fed the energy from the other sources of stars around it. So that's what gives the sun its energy. That's what gives the sun its glow. Okay, she has that glow. All right. So we have here the Eye of Horus, awakening divine perception. And you have both here the feminine and the masculine. And we're talking about all within her, the feminine and the masculine energies within her. But we're also talking about divine partnerships here. Another thing too that was coming through, I'm going to take this small break. Let me see. Should I? Give me a second. For those who don't know, I am a spirit-led reader, so I don't really have a format. I may try to start off with a format, but then the spirit leads me another way, and there may be individual channel messages. Okay, all right. So someone did say to me about me tapping on the cards. I'm trying not to do it with my nails, but that's the way how I'm a textile individual, so I pick up on the energy when I touch stuff. So if that is irritating, I apologize, but yeah, no, that's the way how it flows. Okay, so all right, so one thing that was coming through was about the 12, well, actually, excuse me, it's the 13 chakra system, and how we go through the 12 chakras, and then we crown with the number 13, the 13th chakra, which is the crystalline chakra. Okay, and what the spirit has been really using that number 13. I wrote an in-depth blog about the number 13 is sacred geometry, and you know, the whole gamut. And the number 13 is for Jacob's ladder, and Jacob's ladder is the vision in which Jacob in the biblical text in the Old Testament had a vision of angelic beings, interdimensional angelic beings, descending and ascending from the heavenly realms. This is also talking about the awakening process. So with the vertebrae and how the energy moves up and down the ladder, the spine, okay? Give me a second. All right. So with that crowning of the 13th chakra, which is the Christos consciousness, the number for key, for faith, for the Christos energy, that is coming through with the crystalline body. All right. Give me a second. What that high priestess represents right now is the number 13 and the middle way. All right. So how you may have your left arm, your left leg, your right arm, your right leg, and then you have your spine, Jacob's ladder to ascension. Okay. Give me a second. I hear prima materia, the primal, I hear primal force of life. So if you want to balance things out in your life, you have to have your spiritual, your physical, and your mental in the divine triangle, the Trinity, okay? All right, so let's go over here. These were the two first cards that I picked, which we have the first one that came out, the Self, number 1, the Magician, Archangel Raphael, okay? And look up here, the infinite flow, here it is. You see his halo? And the halo is the continents, the crown above our head. And you see how he has the infinite flow of information above his crown, above his halo? Not everybody has that, okay? And these are for the infinite ones. These are for the divine ones, okay? And sometimes, like with your halo, in the purification of your halo, which is like a spiritual and energetic filtration system, if it is wide open, anything can come through, all right? But as the divine magician, the alchemist, starts to change the properties of the ethers, of the energies that are around them, that they purify the halo, and this comes, the infinite filtration system that purifies that information. I hear light frequencies that come towards them. I hear the sacred garden. It's a phrase in Kabbalah about the orchard, and when you're reading text and reading information and decoding, that you go through this 4-part series, that each text has like 4 gateways, if you will. And you have the basic meaning, and I cannot remember the breakdown of it. Pardon me, if someone knows it, please comment down below. But this sacred garden right here, the sacred garden, all right, sacred garden. Okay, give me a second. It's a couple things with that. All right, it's representing like you have someone that can be in the sacred garden, and some individuals may not even see the beauty, but you have someone with the purified halo that can see the abundance. All right, like how when new energies come through, some people are so sensitive that they can pick up on them, and other people are like, you know, I don't even notice the difference, or this is getting on my nerves, or whatever the case may be. And with that sacred garden, I also hear with sexual energy and the purification, the portal and the gateway with the sexual energy. And we have the number 9, fruitfulness, abundance. And yourself activates this abundance, your higher self, and allowing your higher self to send the information to yourself and align fully with your inner higher self. Okay. Okay. All right. And so with this hermit, Archangel Raziel again. All right. And that hermit mode, that's the 2nd phase of initiation. So you have the 3 phases of initiation. And many of us are going to the 2nd phase of initiation. Okay. And together, you have the number 10, completion. Completion to another cycle, okay? Completion of a cycle, of a karmic cycle within one's life. And you're moving into, I hear not an decade. I wanted to say an echo in a decade. So an echo is like continual. It continues until after it fades out and the sound completely dissipates. So that is, the spirit is saying that's an analogy for the things that have been happening throughout generations of our family lineage. For example, the poverty mindset, it started really loud and it started to die out with each decade, okay? Like the echo, like hello, 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 like that, for example. And it's dying out with your generation, okay? I had to say it like that to sort of kind of wake people up. You know, it's dying out because of your halo purification. And so you are the hinge. This has been a message that's been coming through. And it really came through really strongly in the spirit animal of the cardinal, the red cardinal. You could check that video out, in which the first part of the word cardinal represents, is actually, I think it's Greek for hinge. And the hinge, so not just the door, you're not the door, but you're the hinge that opens the door, the floodgates, okay? And that continual flow of information, that continual flow of cash flow, even yet and still, you know, we're not even going to play around with that though. But it's because of your mind is open and your halo is purified that you are able to open up that floodgate, okay? Because before you didn't have the key. That 13th chakra was not activated. And so therefore you were locked off to it. Your family's generations were locked off to it. So even if you came from a rich family, it doesn't matter. It's also talking about consciousness. It's talking about being fully abundant, being balanced on both sides, the middle ground, okay? Healing as well. A great deal of healing is activated here. All right. So I'm going to pull some runes. If you guys can give this video a like and leave a comment, it helps our analytics, and you can also share if you would like to. All right, box, as I'm telling you, here we go. Box mentality, as above so below. Someone's not getting it. I mean, even not this message, but they're not getting the karmic cycle. They're going to have to repeat it again for some. But what I really feel like, a good amount of the divine feminine, they're breaking these chains, not change, but breaking feminine are breaking the chains off of them. Okay, so Perseus, that was a channel message that came through a while in the divine feminine, the Feminine Fridays, some months ago, about Perseus breaking the chains off of Andromeda. And Andromeda represents the subconscious mind, the suppressed conscious mind. She was chained to a rock. Her pineal gland was decalcified. Well, calcified. So she had to decalcify her pineal gland, which is the physical representation of the third eye. And this box represents the closed mind, the coffin. That's what the closed mind is, the coffin. It keeps you in the limited mindset, which is sin, as the biblical text refers to it as, when you hold yourself into some type of limitations. But you can change this by as above, so below. As you thinketh, so is he. That's in the biblical text. 717 is, I hear the joining of the divine partners. But specifically what the number 717 is a number that the divine source gave me for a notification of the divine partners balancing their energies out, balancing out their awakening state, their communication with angelic and celestial beings. And those angelic and celestial beings could just be light codes. Even for those that may not see shapeshifters, they may not see, I specifically heard shapeshifters, they may not see actual physical angels or angelic beings or interdimensional beings. They may just see light codes or auras. And that's balancing out. So I'm going to pull one of these angel cards. Ask a question. Whatever question you want to ask about your divine partnership or soulmate connection. This came out in that last reading, talking about some playfulness. Yeah, so I was just listening to Alan Watts and about how people take death so seriously in the Western culture. And pretty much, you know, how more serious can you get besides death? Okay, but he was saying, you know, if we just took it as a mindset of like journeying on or a little bit more playful, we wouldn't have this anxiety attached with the ideals of death. This is the same thing about ascension, about the things that you may go through in your life. It's really not all that serious when you unsuppress your mind and get out of that box. You realize that, okay, this is like a game. I'm learning how to play this game. It's all an energy play. It's all an energy war, if you will. It's all an energy game. So you have to learn how to play with your energies. You have to learn how to master your energy. Think of the wand. You see how he has like a wand or staff? Same thing with him. Think of that as a joystick and you're playing a video game. I don't know if they still use joysticks for video games. Back in my day, I do recall that. But, you know, it could be a controller, if you will. Just roll with the analogy here, you know. But anyways, so that rod, that staff represents your, I specifically hear your intuition, but it represents your passion, your discipline. And your discipline is your talents and your gifts that you have been given. And you have to be disciplined in your discipline. So everything that you do, do unto the divine source. Do as if you are doing to God, if you will, or the higher, the above realms, okay? If you knew that God was sitting right there watching you as you were doing something that even if you may not feel that passionate about, the wand represents passion, are you still going to do it with that zeal and that passion? And then if not, you got to question why. Is this something that I'm really supposed to be doing in the first place? Question that, you know. Okay, so I believe that is all. The decks that I use will be listed down below. We have the Isis Oracle, the Hermetic Tarot deck, and we also have like the angels from Doreen Virtue tarot cards. Those all will be listed down below. If you're interested in a personal reading, I'm now offering free runes with each reading. Those links will be down below. You can join the Patreon page and all that good jazz. All of that will be listed down below. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. This is Ashley. All right, peace. The information that came through for this reading started in the solstice reading as well as the meditation. I recommend that you check that out if you want to get a better understanding of the Lion's Gate. In that channeled message, it was a lot of information about the portal of activity that's opened up right now. Initially, it started to open up during that solstice. Now it is at the full pentacle, the full opening. So those links will be down below. Hope that you will consider joining the family here. We are an eclectic group. We cover a wide variety of information ranging from angelology to tarot to biblical text and decoding. So if you are into that type of stuff and occult knowledge, then hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can receive notifications. If you're interested in personal services such as readings and counseling, that link will be listed down below. For those that have given the 613 higher wisdom, higher knowledge, energetic exchange, also known as a donation, thank you guys very much for that. That is very much appreciated. If you're interested in giving on a more continual basis, you can find our Patreon link down below. As a token of our appreciation, you will receive free monthly personal readings as well as the other ascendant information that we have listed over there. Check out our other playlists that we have here: Twin Flame Starseed Bible Study and Decoding, Spirit Animal Playlist, Masculine Mondays, Feminine Fridays. Visit our website at www.fd11-11ministries.org.